show us what's been on your mind, what you're working on, your
Yeah,
shows, where people can find you.
absolutely. So, I've kind of been a little synonymous with like these mind maps and connective webs and stuff like that. One that I've been working on is, let me see if I can pull it up here. So I have this one web that I started a couple months back before Trump was. It was like right when he had won the election, and kind of like breaking down all of his ties. You know, you have Howard Lutnick up here. He's obviously connected to Peter Thiel, who groomed JD Vance. You have Vivek, who was buddies with JD Vance at Yale. So I'm sure you know it's no secret. Did you know that JD Vance's son Vivek is named after Vivek Ramaswamy?
I knew he had the name. I just thought it was like a popular Indian name. Wow, he named him. I did not know that. And Vivek Ramaswamy is a con artist and
Yeah,
became a billionaire off total fraud.
that was the Alzheimer's thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
What?
Jim Cramer, Fox News and Jim Cramer helped him on the pump and dump.
Yeah. I caught wind of a rumor. I haven't been able to verify it for myself, but that his mom was actually the one behind all of the studies that
It was,
got
yeah.
spoofed and stuff. But yeah, basically, you know, that like the world in politics works where, you know, nepotism and this guy knows this guy and sets each other up on boards and stuff. So just kind of like digging through all of that and trying to make everything make sense. I have stuff with like Pam Bondi being tied to the people that own the New York Stock Exchange. Jeffrey Craig Sprecher and his wife Kelly Loeffler is like the Small Business Administration person, and they were caught up in like the 2020 congressional insider trading right before COVID.
No,
Um,
Pam Bondi gets in and starts going after all the universities. It
yeah,
still hasn't given us anything good in the Epstein documents, but
yeah.
she's going after all those college universities. You know, the priorities. And you know, not that I'm obviously not a fan of Infowars, but from what I saw in an Owen Schroyer video, like him and a lot of other people are being swatted, and they're saying that like the FBI, Cash Patel, her are doing nothing about it.
I'm honestly not surprised. If Cash Patel does anything while he's in office, I would be shocked, honestly. Um,
Chat said Vivek actually means poop eater in Indian. Just a joke, though. I think
um, with Cash Patel, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but when you remember when Matt Gaetz was being investigated for allegedly sex trafficking that minor across state lines?
yeah, with Roger Stone, right? Something with Roger Stone.
Yeah, during that investigation, he actually gave Trishul, which is a company owned by Cash Patel, $130,000 for like consultation during that
Ooh.
trial.
Yeah,
And
Cash Patel is like Mike Flynn Reawaken America tour and like goes on all the QAnon podcasts. Like, and then you thought he was going to get in and like actually Bongino
yeah,
and Rumble, like all of these people. Remember Bongino like says, what is his most important issue that's near and dear to your heart? And he says, Israel, defending
yep.
Israel.
Yeah, I've criticized Bongino enough to where he's actually blocked me on Twitter. It seems kind of crazy that somebody that can't even take like criticism from relatively, I'm a nobody in the grand scheme of things, but that he has to block me. And then he just posted a status the other day that said like your feedback and your criticisms are always welcome, but I can only communicate with him on his government account because he's not allowed to block me on there.
Mm.
But yeah, like people like Susie Wiles, you have Elon, and I mean he's connected with all sort
So hold
Epstein.
on, can you back up to Susie Wiles? Because
Yeah,
all I've heard of her, she's like Trump's top girl, like that's doing everything for Trump, or so we're told. Chief of staff, right?
yeah, yeah.
All I've heard about her, she's got like some type of pharmaceutical connections, right?
Yeah, she's so through this thing called Mercury Public Affairs, she's tied to Pfizer, Johnson and Johnson, AstraZeneca, Swisher Tobacco has worked with them.
Sounds
Nestle,
like Trump really learned his lesson with COVID and hire surrounding himself with the deep state. Sounds like he's really fixed that this time around, like he told you he would, and all you suckers bought it.
yeah, yeah, absolutely got fooled the first time so well that he just did the exact same thing again and
Yeah.
put someone so it's tied directly to Pfizer. I mean, it's who's that Borla? And Borla's been like invited up on stage and stuff to speak at Trump events. Uh,
Oh,
and she's tied in with like Ballard Partners and Robert Wexler. Ballard Partners works with Amazon, Dish Network, just to name a couple. And then his whole crypto thing too, like his World Liberty
Borla, the
Financial.
CEO of Pfizer. Sorry to interrupt, but I just was
Yeah,
checking it. He won the Genesis Prize, which is
like
an Israeli like Nobel Prize from Israel
oh wow.
in
Uh,
2022.
I wonder if that's where Netanyahu got that golden syringe
Yeah,
that was shown off in his office. I bet Borla made that for him.
probably it could be.
And then you have like World Liberty Financial, which is Trump's two sons own that, which is a crypto exchange, and they own that with Stephen Witkoff's son.
Who's
Stephen,
in charge of Middle East now? He's got the peace in the Middle East role, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's just a real estate developer that Trump's known at least since the 80s. So you know that his role over there is just going to be developing future real estate, which just ties back into like the whole Trump Gaza future city plan. He's actually got some weird ties. Like his son Andrew Witkoff, I guess, overdosed at the Sunset Plaza Drive sober living facility in California, which is tied to like a lot of Hollywood stuff. I believe there's like some esoteric stuff that surrounds that.
Is there Kushner Witkoff connections?
I haven't explored that angle specifically, but I'm sure that if you dug deep enough, that you'd probably find some. Cause you're talking about like the 666 address.
Well, not necessarily just that. Okay, here we have Witkoff and Jared Kushner on new era of U.S. Middle East. What? YouTube video?
What's that about?
It's just a month ago from the FLL Institute, FII Institute. Look at this. This could be something to watch. I wonder if there'll be some clips in this. Hold on, where are we?
Go in New York. I really President Putin after this release, and it's led to a lot of positivity.
So I'm gonna have to watch this. It's only 20 minutes. I have a feeling there might be something clippable, something good to clip in that.
Because that's both of them speaking together at the same conference at the same
a month
time.
ago.
And yeah, that's news to me. That's crazy. I can't believe I missed that.
I know. I'm gonna watch it and see if there's anything important in it. So you want to share that screen again? I think it booted you down when I put mine up. Save that to watch later.
Yeah, I've been just sort of exploring everything, even going into like Mike Waltz, the national security advisor. You know, he's wrapped up with all kinds of things. Like he has ties to Donald Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney. He was, I believe, working with looks like George W. Bush back in the day. This is the whole like 2020 election, or the 2016 election, and how Doug Imhoff was like working with DLA Piper, which was representing the voting machines during the election investigation. There's this whole IP3 international scandal that happened in Trump's first term, where he was attempting to like sell nuclear energy to like Saudi Arabia and Qatar with Mike Flynn and Jared Kushner. And we're slowly having like big tech is buying like nuclear power plants and stuff, and we're going to see a revitalization of the nuclear industry here in America, and that's going to like go to power AI data centers and stuff like that. And
Elon's electric car, robot, self-driving car fleets.
Yeah, and you know, you have the lithium grabs that are going on right now.
You think that's what Greenland's about?
Part of it? I think it's multifaceted, but definitely the lithium deposits. It's actually funny because not funny, but it's ironic that I was doing some investigating in like the fires that have taken place all in like the southeast, and there's a couple of websites that'll actually map out like fire density, and the places where it was most dense either had a confirmed lithium deposit or they were trying to build a lithium mine there, and the only pushback or the only thing stopping them were like environmentalists and activists and stuff.
Well, Trump axed all that. That was one of his biggest things. Drill, baby, drill.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Elon definitely wants the lithium up in Greenland. And also, I just remembered, I covered this on stream. Who they claim first introduced the idea of Trump getting Greenland was Ronald Lauder. So World Jewish Congress Ronald Lauder, who has Estee Lauder. So there's a bunch of baby seal blubber or something they need to make some of the lipsticks and makeups or whatever. But that was one of the ideas. But it's also for war for the big war, which the death cult would like to get the world in at some point.
Yeah, and it's insane to see people like Alex Jones posit it as a win when, 10, 15, 20 years ago, he was like, the North American Union's going to be the first step to globalism, or whatever.
Yeah.
And now
Another total flip-flop. And I've been saying it for years. Alex Jones is helping usher in the New World Order in the name of fighting it. Yeah. How's that aged, guys?
Do you remember how far back that was?
2015, 16 is when I started really exposing Jones. And, I had on David Icke after he had his Trigger book. I had him on, and he took a shot at Alex Jones in that, and he came on, and I was like trying to get him to talk about exposing Alex Jones being a Trump shill and stuff, and he didn't want to do it. And then now he obviously has been all the time. I've loved seeing that. Glad somebody big is calling out Jones, who, thanks to Elon and Trump, really has blown up, more popular than ever. Now he used to be attacked by the Hannitys and the Glenn Becks and the big Zionist talking heads like that. Now they all embrace him.
Yeah.
The Tucker used to say, fuck Alex Jones. Glenn Beck, Hannity even. Bannon's another one that he's close with as well now. So he's completely been brought in the fold. It's just obvious at this. It's been obvious to me for a long time, but it's obvious to almost everybody.
Yeah, I made a post not too long ago where I was like, COVID was staged, the assassination attempts were staged, and I guess I must have struck a nerve with him because he ended up like commenting on that and was like, everything's staged but you, and I was
But
like,
yeah.
What about Sandy Hook?
Yeah,
You know?
not everything's a conspiracy, right? You're selling the Alex Jones "Not Everything's a Conspiracy" shirts. That's a great idea. You sold any of those?
Not yet, and I think,
though.
yeah, I think it's just because I'm terrible at marketing, but
Yeah.
but it's just ironic because he was one of the people that sort of influenced me when I was like younger to be like always question the government. You know, they run psyops all the time and shit. And now that
Bankers behind every war, they run both sides. It's controlled dialectics, and then now it's all that's gone out the window. Like you never said it.
yeah, and then he's bringing on people like Ian Carroll to come in there and talk with 30-second self-proclaimed 30-second degree Freemason Chase Geyser. And they, will have an hour or 2 hour segment, and I guess that's just fine with the new InfoWars to posit, people that are aligned with Nicole Shanahan, RFK, who else? Mike Flynn, Ivan Raiklin have all been sort of in that Ian Carroll circle, and then going back to the Brock Pierce thing with his buddies, and then a Freemason, and that's who runs InfoWar segments now.
Yep, and don't forget the Russian manager Daria too.
Yeah,
as well.